Hi, Haley. I think she onboarded and offboarded 250 agents last year, which is a lot of agents, and she's doing flawlessly with your guys' help. So that's why we kind of want to talk about the form, make sure we're all on the same page, and continue to make sure that that process is seamless. So I'm going to go ahead and we are recording. Good. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Possibly. Let's see. I know Schmidt Resources is open here somewhere. Here we go. Okay, Schmidt Resources, no surprise to anybody. If you're like me, you're in there multiple times a day. We're going to start on this one with our people square. And then right over here to the left, we have our agent onboarding and offboarding square. So this is not password protected. There's no sensitive information in it. And the reason it's not is because everybody can use a square, whether it's a broker, a sales manager, an ASC, an RSC, a DSG, whomever needs to get to this information, it's available to you guys right here via this square. So when you click on it, you'll see right at the top are the two forms that we're going to talk about: onboarding request form and offboarding request form. Now, the offboarding request form are the form that has a few tweaks to it. So we'll talk about that in a second. But I did want to remind everybody that we have this office transfer form. If an agent decides that either they've moved or one office is a better fit for them or more convenient for them and they want to move offices, it's an easy enough process, but there's multiple people across the company that need to be made aware of that. So we do need the form filled out. So if they're moving from, say, Veterans over to Gulf Cove in Sunstar, we just need the form filled out so that we can move them in account tech. Accounting can move what they need to move. We just kind of need to know so that make sure that we're all aligned. So if you have an agent transferring between offices, please let us know. Now, if they're transferring between regions, say they're moving from Marquette, Michigan, because they're sick of the snow and the cold, and they're going to move down to Punta Gorda, that's a completely different process. That's different licensing. That's different forms. That's going to be a complete offboard onboard. Love that they're going to stay with their family. Love that we have the opportunity for them to move. But if they're moving across, especially licensing lines, if they're moving to a different region altogether, that's going to be an offboard onboard situation. We do have some agents, they're licensed in Michigan and Florida, and that's okay. If they're going to keep both licenses, then it's just an onboarding form. We don't need to offboard them because they're going to stay licensed. And we do have a few, what do they call them, snowbirds that do that. They'll come up here in the summer and then they're licensed down there in the winter. And that's okay too. We love that. We love that they can stay with the company and operate in more than one region. So if they're moving within a region, office transfer form. If they're getting licensed in a different region and they're completely leaving, we need to offboard them in the original region, onboard them in the new region. If they're just getting double licensed, they're going to be dual licensed, then we just need to onboard them in the new region. So any questions about that? Doesn't come up very often, so just reach out. So the onboarding form, when you click on that link, it's pretty self-explanatory. We know that you guys get asked to do a lot of things. So whether it's your DSG or your broker, they may say, hey, can you fill out that form? We have somebody new coming on. No problem. You can put your name here. Or if you're filling it out on their behalf, you can also just put their name there as well. The important part is if Haley has any questions, if she's like, hey, I'm not quite sure what this means, or can you verify which MLS? The purpose of filling out that particular first name is who we're going to call for questions. We know we have a new agent coming on. We're not quite clear on our instructions. Who are we going to call to ask questions? So if it's you, great, put your name. If it's your DSG and you're just filling out the form for them, go ahead and put the DSG's name there along with their email address so that we can contact them. Now, I did update this right here, recruited agent name, as will be shown on license. We've had some discrepancies when we have a William, that's going to go by Will. That's okay. When the agent fills out the new agent paperwork, their agent intake form, they'll be able to clearly state that there. When we are dealing with a net new agent, we need what their legal name is going to be, how it's going to show up on their license. And there's a few reasons why. It's going to cause an issue with referral rewards, because if we put them in as Will, but their legal formal name is William, the system's not going to be able to match them. So we've had some discrepancies on referral rewards because of that. And checking spelling on their name is super important. We all know that we're moving fast. Go ahead.
You're not showing or presenting the form.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. How about now?
That's good.
Thank you. Thank you for stopping me. So as I was talking about that you couldn't see, here, right here, this name, whether it's you filling it out, whoever we're going to call for questions, that's whose name should be in there. So if you're just filling it out for the DSG, following a text message they sent you and you're not real sure about who this person is, go ahead and put the DSG's name in there. If you're well aware of this agent and you can answer questions, feel free to put your name in there. And then right here is where it's super important that whatever their licensing name should be here. So if it's Will versus William, if it's Kat versus Catherine, we're going to want what their license name will be. That will help us with referral rewards, and it's going to help fill out their documentation as well. If they want their marketing name to be their short name, that's okay. They'll fill that out in the paperwork that Haley sends to them via DocuSign on the agent intake form. If they want to be Kat instead of Catherine, their email can be that, their website can be that, no problem. But when we in-process them, we need their legal name that will match their license and will match their formal dash ID, because again, downstream, it will affect referral rewards. And then double check that spelling as much as you can to make sure that we are getting it right on the front end. It saves everything downstream in the process. We need their current email address. This is how we send them their paperwork to sign. So whether it's Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, whatever it might be, we need their current email address so that they can sign their paperwork. We have been able to create a Google Workspace account for them prior to them signing their paperwork if it's a real problem. If it's an agent coming from a different brokerage and they've never had a personal email and they don't want it going to their current brokerage, we understand. We can make some, we can make some exceptions. We can help them sign up for a free Gmail, whatever it might be. But if that's a problem, if that's a sticking point, we have lots of different ways around it. But the reason for their current email address is so that we can send them the DocuSign documents to sign all their paperwork, get signed up for us, and then Haley will create their Google Workspace. But again, that should not be holding up any onboarding. We have lots of ways around that. We just need to know if it's a sticking point. Residential or commercial, super important because there's two different onboarding forms. Residential has all of their compensation plans and documentation. Commercial has theirs separately. So we need to know. It doesn't mean that if we're bringing on a residential agent and they have permission to do a few commercial deals, maybe they're in a smaller market where there's not standalone commercial, this won't affect that. You need to mark them as residential. Later on, when we're onboarding them and such, we can give them commercial access, but this is all about the initial paperwork. So if they're commercial, mark commercial. If they're residential, mark residential. We do need to know if they're part of a team. It's going to affect their compensation plan. It's going to affect how they're onboarded. It's going to affect a lot of different things. So we need to know if they're joining a team. So just yes or no, quite simple. And then what the team name is. So put yes, Andrea Crossman team, or yes, the Knicks team, whatever it might be. We do need to know that on the front end. Their phone number, and again, for questions, if we have questions on how they want their name to be, if we're not quite sure, it's super important to get their phone number. We like to know if they're experienced or not. We track this for a lot of different reporting purposes. We kind of need to know for referral rewards. It's a reason why we ask it. It's on there for a reason. So we do need to know if they're experienced. If they're with a current brokerage, we'd love to know that. Obviously, if they're coming from a Century 21 or Better Homes and Gardens or anybody in the Anywhere network, they do not count for referral rewards. So we do need to know what brokerage they're coming from. So just go ahead and fill that out. If you're aware, obviously the DSG should know, or your managing broker should know, or if you guys can look them up in the local MLS, whatever it might be. If they were previously licensed with us, left and came back, we process them differently. We reactivate their original profile as opposed to creating new. This makes sure all their brokerage tools, everything coming over from the brand is back to their original state, and they don't have to worry about a login with the number 1 after their name. So we process differently based on if they're with us previously or not. So if they were with us before, even if it was 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, last month, maybe they're like, oh yeah, that grass was not greener. I'm coming back home. Love to have you. Just need to know. So if they were with us prior, regardless of how long ago, let us know if they were with us before. And then what office are they joining? And you guys, we have a lot of different job forms and I try to keep them all updated. But if you are not seeing what you need to see, if you're like, hey, this office isn't on there, or hey, this office goes by a different name now, just shoot me a quick email, text me, chat me, whatever it might be. I can update it. I try to keep them updated, but sometimes we have a lot of changes all at once and I miss a form. So just let me know. And then important here, we do need to know what board they're joining because that's the paperwork we send them, right? That's part of the whole DocuSign when they join. Those local, the MLS documents go to the local person so that you guys can help them get signed up for the MLS. So we do need to know what board they're joining. Doesn't mean they're not going to join a secondary board sometime in the future. That's okay too. We just need to know what their main board will be. Compensation plan starting level. Obviously, this is coming over from leadership, whether it's the DSG or broker. Are they level 1, level 2, level 3? We need to know that because that's the compensation form that Haley will make sure is part of their new agent packet in DocuSign. So let us know there. I'm only getting reds here because I'm not filling out the forms and they're required. So don't worry about the red. We're just going through the form now. If you have their license number, if they're currently licensed and everything's good there, let us know. It's not necessary because a lot of times you won't know, especially if they're not quite through testing yet and it maybe not has been transferred over. But if you do know it, go ahead and give it to us. Are they eligible for referral rewards? Again, if you're not sure, reach out. If you're not sure, err on yes, because the worst thing that can happen is we submit them and they're denied. The very worst thing that can happen is we don't submit them and they could have gotten the referral rewards and now we can't add them anymore because once they're onboarded in Dash, we can no longer add them. So err on the side of yes if you're not quite sure, but definitely let us know if they're eligible. Have they already been submitted? Sometimes agents will do it. Sometimes brokers will add them. Let us know. Saves us work. Why do it twice if we don't need to? So just let us know if they've already been added. And then if they haven't been submitted, who's getting the referral reward? Is it an agent? Is it a manager? Who is getting that referral reward? We need to know. DSGs are trained. They have kind of their own process. So if you're helping a DSG fill this out, they will let you know what name to put in there. And then, of course, that person's email address. And then referral rewards does allow a co-sponsor now. So if you have 2 agents that I've worked really hard to bring over another agent and it's going to be a co-sponsor, let us know because 2 people can split the reward, not 3. 2 people can split the reward on referral rewards. And then, of course, co-sponsor email. This right here, I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see it a little bit better. So broker, managing broker. This is going to be who your designated realtor. It goes by a lot of different names. Broker, depending on how your local MLS operates, this is the person that will have to sign the MLS paperwork in order for that agent to join your local MLS. So this might not be the DSG. Quite frankly, it's usually not the DSG. It's whoever your designated realtor is for your local MLS. Haley needs to know that so that they can sign the paperwork for the agent in DocuSign for the MLS. So that's kind of the difference between the first name on who's filling out the form and the managing broker name. And of course, their email address because they need to be sent the documentation as well. Now, some DSGs, some brokers, they like to have them sign the compensation form prior to having the DocuSign document sent. That's okay. I understand that. It's sales. You want to get that paper in front of them. You want to get that signature. You want to get them signed up. We're okay with that. Steve Ladrito and the DSG team have a way of getting the hard copy compensation plans ahead of time if need be. If it's signed by the agent, fantastic. Upload that here because then what Haley will do is she'll download that PDF, upload it into DocuSign, and it's part of their agent documentation without them having to re-sign. So if there is a hard copy signed by the agent, please go ahead and upload that PDF here. We make it part of the DocuSign agent documentation. So we can absolutely do that. We just need to be given it. We just need it given to us so that we have it for the DocuSign. And then notes. You know, maybe you're filling this form out, but the agent doesn't want to see new paperwork for a week because they're going to Tahiti. Well, take me. I've never been. I want to go to Tahiti. So if they're coming on in a week, if they need a note because, hey, I filled this form out as William, but please note they really want to go by Will. As much information as you can give us, the better the process will be for all of our new agents. So don't hesitate to put in any notes. If you're not sure, again, err on the side of just putting it in there. If we don't need it, whatever, we'll ignore it. But give us as much information as you can when it comes to these notes, because that will only help make the process smoother for everybody involved. And then, of course, submit. So that is the agent onboarding form found in Schmidt Resources. Now, let me go ahead and go over and see if I had any questions. Yeah, just my little snafu was sharing the wrong screen. So again, thanks for letting me know that. Okay, we're going to go back to Schmidt Resources. Keep in mind, we're in people. We're in the agent onboarding, offboarding square. We went through the onboarding request form. Now we're going to go through the agent offboarding request form. I'm going to share the tab. Remember that. And here you're going to see it's a lot of the same questions, but of course we're reversing it, right? They've decided either they're going to get out of real estate, they're going to a different brokerage, whatever it might be. We'll talk about that in a minute. This is the form for agent offboarding request. So same concept here, whether you're an ASC, a staff member, a DSG, whoever's filling out the form, whomever we're going to call with questions, that's whose information should go here, along with your email address. Terminated agent name, just like onboarding, spelling is important. We have 1,400 agents. You'd be surprised at how many times that spelling comes through wrong, and it makes it really hard to find them in account tech. So double check your spelling. That would be fantastic for us. That would help us with our process. But put the terminated agent name here. Their current email address would be their Google Workspace, CB Sunstars, CB Great Lakes, whatever it is. If they chose to never use that and they only have a Gmail, go ahead and put that there as well. And then agent's future email address. I know you won't always have it. I know they don't always provide it, but if we can get it, if the manager or the DSG talking to the agent can get that, it helps us in the future, because that way they still would be able to get their agent invoice. It's going to help us when it comes to communicating with them after they've been terminated. Obviously, if they leave in February and they had closings come the following year, we still need to connect with them on their 1099s to make sure we have their address and all that stuff. So super important to get a future email address if possible. As much as you can ask for that and get that, we really appreciate it. It does help accounting a lot. Were they part of a team? Just like onboarding, it's super important to know. Yes, no, team name. Their phone number, which is usually pretty easy because a lot of people don't change phone numbers as frequently as they change email addresses. And then which office are they leaving? And again, just like onboarding, these forms are all separate. We have to keep the office list updated. So if you see anything gone awry, let me know. I see a hand raised. Go ahead, Haley.
Sorry, I just wanted to reiterate about, so offboarding is very, very similar to onboarding as far as the name goes for the agent. If you could please put their legal name, because if you put Chris Smith, I have no idea if it's Christine Smith or Christopher Smith. And if we have, and I mean, there's obviously names that are like, you know, really random and one-off, so I can just look up the last name, but it would just save a lot of time if you put their legal name instead of a nickname. Just FYI.
Yeah, good point. No, I appreciate you pointing that out. Good point. Okay, this part right here is going to be a little different. So reason for leaving, pretty self-explanatory, but we added a little caveat here. So retiring from real estate, easy. You know, they're done. They've put in 50 years. They're going to go fish, go to the Galapagos, spend time with the grandkids, whatever it might be. Good for them. Hopefully that's me one day. But if they're just getting out of real estate and retiring, click that. Joining Schmidt Referral Network. Keep in mind, if this is checked, there's still other information that needs to happen. This is just offboarding Schmidt Real Estate. If they're onboarding into Schmidt Referral Network, that's a different form. Every region's a little bit different. Florida has a form to fill out that goes to Jeannie. Jeannie sends them the paperwork. Michigan, the paperwork's coming from Jeanette. Ohio, I apologize, I'm not quite sure. It might be Cammie doing the paperwork, might be Nicole, I'm not real sure. But keep in mind, this doesn't trigger the onboarding to Schmidt Referral Network. This only triggers the offboarding of Schmidt Real Estate. So that is the difference there. Maybe they're done. They're like, hey, this is not for me. I'm not going to be in sales. I'm going to go back to teaching, go back to nursing, go sell cars, whatever it might be. They're just getting out of the industry completely. Check that. Moving away, hey, you know, sick of this 10 degrees with too feel like weather. I'm going to go to Florida, but we don't operate in Miami and that's where I'm moving. So I'm just moving away completely. Okay, let us know that. Joining another brokerage. So you'll see when I checked moving away, no red dot here, no red dot there. When I check joining another brokerage, red dot here, red dot there. So you'll see these are not required if they're not going to a different brokerage. If they're going to a different brokerage, these are now required. This wasn't like this before. This is new. So what brokerage are they going to? Please be as specific as possible. Century 21 is vastly different than Century 21 Northland. In some of our markets, it's quite apparent. In other markets, there may be more than one. So Keller Williams, blah, blah, blah. Be as specific as possible to the brokerage that they're going to as much as you know. And again, your DSGs, your managers, whomever is having this meeting with them should be able to provide that information to you, but let's get as specific as possible on what brokerage they're going to. Similarly, let's be as specific as possible for reason for leaving and joining brokerage named above. Was it company dollar split? Was it tools and technology? Was it their office has a ping pong table and ours doesn't? Was it they have Starbucks in their office and we have Dunkin' Donuts? What was the reason that they gave for leaving Schmidt Real Estate and joining the other brokerage? Let's get as specific as possible. The DSG team is working very hard to not only recruit, but also retain agents. So this information is being tracked. Leadership does look at it, and we are taking cues from the information that we're given. So let's get as specific as possible on this. If you put money, not specific, right? What part of money? Was it their cap? Was it their split? Was it the commercial versus residential? What was it? Okay, so get as specific as you can. Obviously, you guys might not have this information, but this is where you guys can help by talking to your DSGs, talking to the managing broker, whomever was, letting you know about this agent leaving. Let's ask those specific questions so that we can get as granular as possible on this form. So keep in mind, any of the first four options, not required. Joining another brokerage, required. You will have to fill that out. So let's get as specific as we possibly can. And then click submit. So whether it's onboarding or offboarding, a couple things happen. As soon as you guys click submit, JotForm notifies Haley, myself, Kelly, and Jessica, and I believe Steve Ladrito's on that. That way, whether Haley's on vacation or somewhere warm, hopefully, or Kelly's out or Jessica's out or I'm out, multiple eyeballs see this. So this way it will make the process smooth. So when you click submit, multiple people are made aware. Further, what happens is once and usually Haley, once Haley onboards or offboards, she has a further process. So DocuSign will notify on the onboarding part because DSGs have to sign a form, managing brokers have to sign a form, ASCs, commissions, and accounting are notified. On the offboarding, Haley's notified along with the rest of us. Haley offboards, she sends the notification email out to lots of different people. Relo, local people, accounting, everybody's notified so that we're all on the same page. So once you click submit, it triggers some dominoes down the communication trail so that we're all aware of what's happening. So we've been pretty impressed with the process. Obviously, early on, we had some tweaks. The local MLS paperwork, some of that stuff was worked out. I'd like to say we're a continuous improvement company and we love feedback, or as Steve would say, feed forward. So if you guys are filling out these forms and you're like, this trips me up every time, I really think XYZ would be helpful, reach out. We love your opinion. You guys are the ones actively using these every day. Let us know how we can make them better for you guys. So I'm going to switch back and see if I had any more comments. So we'll leave it open for questions. Feel free to unmute or type them in the chat. Or Haley, if there's anything I missed that you would like to add, feel free to unmute as well.
On my end, you actually covered pretty much everything that I've come across. So yeah, it's working very, very efficiently, in my opinion. You guys are amazing at getting me what I need. And even if you're not involved in the process, I can always message you, and I'm really appreciative of that. So yeah, that's all I got.
Wonderful. Any other comments or questions? Great. Well, I appreciate your time today. As always, sessions recorded. Head to schmidtvideoclassroom.com to get the recordings. And again, if you guys have any feed forward for us on these forms or the process itself, just let us know. So thanks so much for your time this morning. Stay warm if you're in Michigan and Ohio. Florida, send that sunshine up. Thanks, guys. Bye now.